Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Label. Ruby here with the ever wonderful Eric. Right, straight into it. Today we're digging into the wild and slightly confusing world of support networks for disabled adults in the UK. And Eric, let's be honest, the NHS mental health maze is, well, a maze. But it's actually way more open than people think. Did you know you don't even need a GP referral these days for a lot of the talking therapy stuff? You can just, click a button and boom. Therapy sessions for anxiety, depression, the whole lot, right at your fingertips.
Yeah, it's actually remarkable. I mean, obviously everyone knows the NHS, but a lot of people don't realise you can self-refer for talking therapies, like cognitive behavioural therapy or guided self-help. You just go to their site, search for your local service and, well, obviously there's a bit of paperwork, but you don't always have to go through your GP anymore. And then when things get really tough, there's crisis teams or more intensive support. Though, let's not sugarcoat it, waiting times can sometimes be, well, let's just say it teaches you patience.
And sometimes you need help right now, not next week, which is where charities come blazing in on their white horses. There's Samaritans, absolute legends, open 24/7 if you're in a dark place. Then if you can't bear the phone, Shout lets you text for support. And then Mind. It's like the Wikipedia of mental health help, but with actual humans if you call their helpline.
I had a mate a while back who developed pretty bad anxiety after losing his job, and he had no clue where to even start. So I sat with him one evening, just sort of, walking him through that NHS talking therapy self-referral. Took a bit, but he was honestly surprised it was as straightforward as it was. The relief on his face, just having a system to step into, that was huge. If anyone listening has ever felt lost about where to start, trust me, it's more approachable than you might imagine. And these charities help fill the gaps if you're waiting or just want someone to offload onto, day or night.
Yeah, and for people whose support needs are more complex, you've got organisations doing some really niche and, frankly, fantastic stuff. Disability Plus, for example, gives specialist mental health counselling to folks with particular disabilities. Think ataxia, muscular dystrophy, things like that. The process is a bit GP referral assessment, but it means you get therapy from someone who actually understands your day-to-day reality.
Exactly. And then there's livability. They're all about supported living and community engagement, but with a real focus on mental well-being. If you need more than just occasional support, maybe it's long-term or you're looking for community, not just a therapist in a room, livability could be worth a look. And up north, you've got creative support based in Manchester. Their thing is supported housing, community services, helping adults with learning difficulties and mental health issues hang on to their independence while getting the backup they need.
And Dimensions UK, shout out to South London. They do personalised support for those with learning disabilities or autism, helping people access everything from therapy to, just plain decent quality of life. Oh, and not forgetting MenCap and Scope. They're massive on advocacy, but also super practical about linking you to support services and making sure people with learning disabilities, who sometimes fall through the cracks, actually get mental health help. Actually, I got an email recently from a listener, let's call them Jamie, who used Scope's social prescribing. They were struggling with anxiety and Scope sorted them out by connecting them to NHS talking therapies as well as local peer groups. There's this magical bit in the middle where charities help you mix the stately, often slow NHS with the more hands-on human stuff you need right now, which honestly makes all the difference.
That's such a great example. Tailoring support is absolutely key. What works for one person might not fit at all for someone else. And the more complex your needs, the more important organisations like these become. They help fill that gap between wait and see and immediate help. Let's shift gears slightly to financial support because, let's be honest, mental well-being and financial security go pretty hand in hand. There's Personal Independence Payment, or PIP, and Employment and Support Allowance, or ESA. Both are designed for disabled people but for different situations. PIP is all about day-to-day living or mobility difficulties. It's not means-tested, so if your disability is messing with how you live your life, that's where you start.
ESA, on the other hand, is if you're out of work or can't work much because of a long-term condition. Actually, and this is the part everyone hates, you do have to go through assessments for both. I mean, they ask literally everything. But here's a hot tip. Keep a diary of what your worst days look like and take it with you. If your brain turns to scrambled eggs in those interviews, which, same, that diary is a lifesaver.
Absolutely, and don't feel bad about bringing a friend, support worker, or even someone from a charity like Scope or MenCap along for help. The paperwork's a slog, but there's backup. I heard about a resident with livability who went through both mental health and benefits applications at once. The charity literally helped them prep, sat next to them for the calls, and walked them through appeal letters. It's much less stressful with someone in your corner. And, if you need, charities can give you scripts for what to say, so you don't freeze up in front of an assessor.
Plus, these benefits don't have to be scary or shameful. They're there for a reason. Use them. Having a safety net means you can actually focus on your well-being, not just surviving. Okay, so we've tackled therapy, charities, and finances. Now to probably my favorite bit, community support. Peer groups and local meetups might sound, old school, but they're lifelines for so many people. When you're facing stuff day to day, nothing beats talking to folks who actually get it because they're living it too.
That's so true. And it doesn't have to be official either. Sometimes it's just weekly coffee with friends or an online forum. Local community centres often know about groups specific to disabilities or mental health, so it's worth asking around, even if you're not a joiner. But don't just turn up. If you're new, maybe email someone first. Ask if they need volunteers or what's involved. It's so much easier to contribute when you feel you belong.
Yeah. Plus, building your own support network isn't all about getting help. It's about giving too. Friends, family, support workers, whoever. Being part of a network means you have people to lean on, and you're there for them too. No shame in phoning your mate for a rant or texting your cousin about something weird a doctor said. The point is, support can be informal and still life-changing.
The trick is to keep it sustainable, right? Spread it around so you're not relying on just one person. And keep that network fresh. Meet new people, find new professionals, stay in touch even if you don't need something today. The more connected you are, the better your chances of staying afloat when things get rough. We should talk legal stuff too, because, like we discussed in our workplace rights episode, the law really is on your side in the UK. The Equality Act 2010 gives disabled people some solid ground to stand on when it comes to discrimination in jobs, services, or public spaces. Knowing those rights makes it way easier to challenge barriers or unfair treatment.
Honestly, I always forget which law was which, but the Equality Act is the big one, right? If you feel like something's unfair, get advice from places like Scope or MenCap, or even local advocacy services. Sometimes just talking through your problem helps make the next step less terrifying.
And advocacy services aren't just there when things go wrong. They can actually walk you through applying for help or preparing for a meeting or assessment. If you're nervous about appointments, write down your points or even role play with an advocate. That can really help make sure your voice gets heard and your needs are addressed.
Totally. I know it sounds a bit basic, but bringing a list of questions, past medical records, or examples with you to meetings, it works. You want the system to see you as a whole person, and self-advocacy is a big part of that. It doesn't mean you have to do it alone, though. You can always bring an ally or support person to back you up. All right, now let's talk about making these supports work for you, not just in theory. First, make a plan. Jot down your specific needs, what you want to work on, and what type of help fits best. Write it all out, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Just a list in your phone can do wonders. The important bit is reviewing and updating it regularly since, life changes fast.
Absolutely, and keep a log of every time you contact a service, what was discussed and any follow-ups needed. It might sound over the top, But when you're dealing with long wait lists or multiple agencies, having that record makes it much easier. If something goes off track, you've got the evidence in your own words.
Build your contacts list too. Maybe your main support worker, that awesome doctor at the clinic, 2 or 3 friends you trust, someone from a local group. And then agree on how you're going to communicate. Are you an email person, phone call, WhatsApp? The easier it is to reach people, the more likely you'll use that network before a problem blows up.
Exactly. And don't be shy about asking for introductions if you need a new professional or peer in your corner. It's all about making sure when you need help, you don't have to go searching. Your plan and your records have already done the heavy lifting. So here's where the support network becomes a living thing. Set yourself reminders to review your plan, maybe every couple of months, maybe after something big changes. Just check in. Are you using the stuff you set up? Do your needs look different now? Is something missing?
And keep a journal or notes on how you're feeling, what's working, and what's still super frustrating. Sometimes stuff you set up a year ago just isn't fit for what you're trying to do today. Nothing wrong with binning what doesn't help and doubling down on what does.
Exactly. And maybe the most overlooked part. Ask your network how things are going too. Regularly share what's working, what you wish was different, and encourage honest feedback. That way, your support system actually grows with you, not just for you.
And with that, let's wrap up for today. Remember, support networks don't have to be complicated, but they do require a bit of attention and tweaking as you go along. If you've got questions or want to hear about more real-life stories, drop us a message on our socials or email. Eric, thanks for the good chat as always.
Thank you, Ruby. And thanks to everyone for listening. There's always more to explore, so tune in next time for even more insights into thriving beyond the label. Take care, everyone.